lovelies, or sure, yeah, Halo lovelies. Rod Enjoy Fox here. I'm gonna continue with Lunala and Solgaleo, whatever. Excuse me. Where we left off is Deku made it to the entrance exam. I'm saying that the recommendation as well as the physical one, the entrance exam, are on the exact same day. Momo was still not happy about it, but she basically was asked to do it. And she followed. Anyways, now I shall work with the story I have created. Okay, so... When Deku and Momo got into UA, they saw a blonde, spiky hair boy with red eyes walking close and then hits Deku directly on his leg, which with a massive boom, which injured Deku's leg immediately, which means he can't walk properly at that moment because his leg is now injured. And some people might say, oh, he's way too big, how can that injure someone? And the fact is, if you hit someone specifically in a part in their leg, it could cause them to have a vital, deadly wound if they won't get it treated, or it could injure their leg. Well, not the exact same spot as the first one, but if you hit them somewhere else, it will injure their leg until that leg heals by itself, or they go see a doctor before it could get healed. And Momo noticed this, so she made a first aid kit. And she know which type of medicine works on Midoriya and what doesn't. And she healed him right up. She was about to confront the guy who attacked him for no apparent reason. And then Midoriya changed back and said, "Mistress, it's fine. You should go to the recommendation. I shall heal myself a little later before the practical exam. And then I will be on my way." As she said, "Okay, but I'm gonna track down that guy. Don't worry, mistress, I could tell you how he looks like later." As Midoriya rushes in, limping a little, because his leg is still injured and he's refusing to heal it because he's gonna do the written exam, which is stupid. Get your leg healed. So while this is happening, he sits over by a blonde that's hair is spiky with red eyes. Even though they're not part of the exact same school, Midoriya's school sits next to his school, and when the guy saw him, he immediately goes to Midoriya with his hand and blasts a massive boom against his face, injuring his eye and his ears. And if you guys already know who this is, congratulations. After that, Midoriya was already quite upset at the moment because he was injured and showed a sign of weakness, which he normally was taught that weakness is a sign of failure and that he will fail protecting Momo if he would continue to get injured. So he was about to confront the person who mercifully attacked him twice already before a blue-haired guy with glasses basically points at both of them and told them to stop making all that noise and let the other participants have their quiet moments. And Deku thought, yeah, this guy is correct and this guy's an ass. So what does Midoriya do? He ignores it. And while he's ignoring it, the guy continues to blast at his face, chest, or leg. And Midoriya, being a legend that he is, just makes his tail Remember, he's in solgaleo half. He makes his tail wrap around the end of one of the legs, heats up the leg's metal parts, and snaps it. And for extra fun, he goes to a same leg on the other side of his chair and snaps it. Now this guy is on a wobbly chair and he doesn't know why. Midoriya thought this was at least a good amount of punishment, because if Midoriya would have let out his bloodlust, the guy would not be around, and he would not be around protecting Momo. Anyways, so after the written exam was over, Midoriya walked towards a restroom so he could heal his injuries with certain medicine that Momo left for him and bandages. After he was fixed up, he found the same blonde boy in the front of the restroom with another two kids. They both bombard him with questions, accuse him for messing up their leader, which is the blonde guy, and accuse him for several more things that he obviously did not do, and made fun of his mother. And the thing is, Midoriya never knew his ma. As Midoriya was getting peeved, so what does he do? He doesn't throw hands. No. He's gonna be a bigger man and just walk out of the situation. That's what Midoriya does. He walks out of the situation, and one of the guys tried to tug him by his tail. That was the first mistake that he ever did. The instant that person tugged on Midoriya's tail, Midoriya grabbed the person and flung him across the restroom floor. And after that, the blonde kid tried to attack him again, and while that's happening, Midoriya pulls out his pepper spray and blasts him directly in the face. And did it to the other guy as well. Now, all three of these kids are now badly in pain. Two are in pain in the eyes from pepper spray, and one's in pain in the shoulder because he was tossed on the floor all the way to the end of the restroom. Midoriya just walked out of there like it was nothing. And what does he do? He goes over to the fighting portion of the exam. He sits down next to the same blue hair glasses. As he whispers to him, "Thank you for saving me from my temper earlier." The guy said, "We should not be talking because that would be disrespectful." Midoriya passed a note to him saying, "Thank you anyways, and I'll stop talking." The guy understood that Midoriya was being nice, so he let that one slide. And after the President Mike explained all of it, Midoriya also calmed down the glasses guy before he got up to explain the robot that President Mike was about to explain. After that, they were all sent off into different training grounds. Midoriya was with the blue hair glasses guy, while the blonde kid was by himself in another. After that, Midoriya just started to stretch and took off key compartments that he had. His harness, which he forgot to take off because it's quite heavy actually, because Momo needed to make sure that it won't just fly off of him. And after that, he took off four things that was connected to his wrist and his ankles. You guessed right if you guessed ankle and wrist weights. Midoriya has been wearing ankle and wrist weights at least 102,000 pounds of metal that is connected to his wrists and ankles, which is quite painful. Okay, so let me just check on something first. Oh, okay. After that, the thing went in quite as canon, except for the fact that Midoriya let out a bunch of lasers, getting more hero points than just 60 hero points from his mouth, and then he transformed into Lunala for he could get into a high ground, which was quite his fault because the zero pointer popped up and smashes him directly on the floor because Midoriya was at least pretty wide. And after Midoriya got in a hurry, he transformed into solgaleo, and bada bing bada boom, laser to the face. Oh dear. This probably is the shortest video that I ever made. And I want to suggest this, I am sorry for not posting at all throughout last week or the weekends. I was only able to do so because stuff is happening right now. And I hope you guys could understand. This is part 3 of what if Deku had Solgaleo and Lunala's powers. Or Solgaleo and Lunala, I have no idea what the name is. Adios.